In the world of Formula One, the drama off the track can be every bit as intense as the action on it. And today, we're diving into an absolute bombshell of a story. We're talking about a fallen giant, a team that's really struggling, and a spectacular comeback bid that could honestly change everything. It all starts with this number, $897 million. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. That's the jaw-dropping figure at the very center of a deal that could completely reshape the back of the Formula One grid. But look, this isn't just about the cash, not by a long shot. For the man at the center of it all, that number, well, that's the reported price tag on a personal quest for redemption. It's his way back to the top of the sport that, not too long ago, pretty dramatically kicked him to the curb. All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. What exactly is on the table here? I mean, how do you even go about trying to buy a Formula One team? So, according to reports, the former Red Bull boss, Christian Horner, has put together a powerful group of investors. They're offering a reported 763 million euros, which is that 897 million US dollars, all to acquire a majority stake in the Alpine F1 team. The goal here is crystal clear. They don't just want to invest, they want to take control. They want to run the show. Now, a deal like this has a few key players. First, you've got Horner's Group as the clear buyer. Then you have the sellers, that's the investor group that bought a 24% stake back in 2023, and it looks like they're ready to cash out. But, and this is the big one, the real decider here is the parent company, Renault. They're the majority owner, and the entire deal really hinges on just how much of their F1 team they're actually willing to give up. And that leads us to the $897 million question, right? With that kind of money in your back pocket, why on earth would you target Alpine? A team that, to put it mildly, has seen better days. Why not just build a whole new team from scratch? Well, the answer seems to lie in the value of what's already there. For anyone who might not be familiar with the term, Alpine is currently what's known as a backmarker team. And it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. This is a team that's consistently stuck at the very back of the pack. They're not fighting for wins or podiums, they're fighting for survival. And just how big is that challenge we're talking about? How about this? They finished last, dead last in the 2025 Constructors' Championship. You literally cannot start any lower than that for a comeback. So is this just a massive, crazy gamble, or does Horner see some hidden potential that the rest of us are missing? To really get that, we need to understand his own story. So let's do that. Let's look at the backstory. Because before this whole takeover bid, Christian Horner was the face of the Red Bull racing dynasty. But in 2025, it all just came crashing down in a very, very public and, frankly, very messy way. And wow, the collapse was fast. It started with some really serious allegations and reports of a fierce internal power struggle that just completely destabilized the whole organization. Then you add an uncharacteristically poor start to the season for the team. The breaking point finally came on July 9th when Horner was unceremoniously sacked right after the British Grand Prix. The fallout from that just continued for months. Now, here's the official corporate line from Red Bull's CEO, Oliver Mintzlaff. He talks about turning a page and starting a new chapter. It's very measured, very professional. But that is definitely not the whole story. Because you contrast that clean statement with this comment from Red Bull advisor Helmut Marko. He suggested that all the turmoil under Horner's leadership is what cost Max Verstappen the World Championship. So you see, the crucial point here is that this wasn't just some simple departure. This was a bitter, acrimonious split that left one of F1's most successful team principals on the outside looking in. And that brings us right back to the present and to the future. Is this takeover bid the ultimate act of revenge? The creation of a brand new rival, built from the ashes of a struggling team, designed to go head-to-head with the very empire that Horner himself helped build? This right here puts the entire gamut into perspective. You look at Alpine today, a backmarker team totally struggling for results with really uncertain leadership. Now look at the potential future. Backed by a massive $897 million investment with clear, proven, championship-winning leadership at the helm. The potential for transformation is just monumental. So, we're left watching this high-stakes play for power, for legacy, and for redemption unfold in front of us. Will this nearly billion-dollar gambit actually succeed in turning the last-place team on the grid into a genuine contender? Or is the challenge of rebuilding a Formula One team from the ground up simply too great a mountain to climb, even for Christian Horner?